definitely showing a lot of love. There's been a lot of love seen throughout social media and the news from the various car parades, either students acknowledging teachers, teachers acknowledging students, or those that are retiring, those who may be going through different illnesses. During this time, a recent article, a news article came out. We also have the Stay Baldwin Strong Challenge that Mr. Llewellyn and some students have been participating. So I saw the senior, the athletic awards on a YouTube clip. There's just so many celebrations and showing of love these past few weeks. So I want to commend the community on embracing each other during this time through all these different channels. I tried to do some of the challenges with Mr. Llewellyn and was not successful throughout all of them, but it's still inspirational. I think I might ask to be in one of those videos just to show I still got it. Maybe that'll motivate me or motivate all of us. And again, our students who have shown adversity and resilience through these times. We're adopting seniors. There's just so much love being shared. So thank you, parents. Thank you, Baldwin, for staying strong and for showing a lot of love. So on that note, I'd like to start the process with the agenda. Next on the agenda is the minutes. So the Board of Education accepts the minutes of the Board of Education meetings held on April 21st and April 22nd, 2020, as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Reed.
Seconded.
Second by Mr. Smith. Can I get any questions? All those in favor? No oppositions, motion carries. Treasurer's report. The Board of Education acknowledges receipt of the Treasurer's report for the month of March 2020 as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Reed.
Seconded.
Second by Mr. Smith. Any questions? All those in favor? Motion carries. Now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Cami for the next portion of the agenda. Dr. Cami, you're on mute.
And now I'm not.
And now you're not.
I just want to welcome everybody. Definitely an odd feeling, continues to be an odd feeling, and we welcome being able to get back in person when that is possible. I just want to share some things before we turn it over to what is surely a celebration of our students and our seniors in particular. Just a few pieces of information, particularly for those of the folks from the community who have joined us tonight. First, I have said this. I attended the PTSA meeting last week. It is we know a really, really tough year for our seniors. The last thing anybody expected was to spend the last 3 months of senior year at home. And so we know that. I hope that everybody knows how much we love our kids and how much we love our seniors, and that I do believe that there is an understanding that we will do everything that we can to make sure that the remainder of this year and the celebrations that they so deserve are honored. Next week, Dr. Testa and I will release a memo to the senior families that will outline what our plans are for senior celebrations. So instead of, what we consider to be the formal graduation, we are planning on a series of events, at least one a week from now until the end of the school year, some of which will be the only ones like it anywhere. And the whole idea behind that is, if we are innovative and we are inclusive, and we are going to do that for our seniors. And so expect to see a letter that's going to come from the two of us to outline what all of those events will be. Nothing is going to replace the traditional graduation on the field. But I think, we've all learned to be accommodating and open-minded and flexible during this time. So you will have a series of wonderful celebrations that combined will be at least as good as the one celebration that would be on the field. So expect that. Expect information on elementary and middle school moving up as well. We've been working on those as in addition to the high school, and we've pretty much come to some final decisions about that, and you will be hearing, if you have kids in elementary or middle school, you'll be hearing about that. You received my letter about grading this past week. I believe it was yesterday. Every day is floating into the next, but I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. And again, the philosophy behind that was do no harm. We know that for some kids, this has been a really, really tough fourth quarter or trimester. And we want to make sure that our kids are successful, but we want to also make sure that in no way does anybody suffer as a result of it. And so that memo went out yesterday. And the last two things you probably saw in the news or in the letter that I've sent out. Bauman Bus Company has gone out of business. We are working together with our attorneys and Bauman and other bus companies to make sure that we secure a new bus company for the start of the school year. So that is well underway. The last thing that I want to address, and I'm sure that Mrs. Dureska will do that as well in her comments, is the upcoming budget. In the next couple of weeks, you'll all receive information and a ballot for the school district budget. About a week and a half ago, we were informed by the governor's office that all of New York State was going to paper ballots for both their budget votes and for their trustee elections. So we have been, Mrs. Hobbs, the district office, Dr. Robinson, and I have been working to figure out all of the answers to the questions that nobody either anticipated or gave us the answers to in advance of the notification. So in the next couple of weeks, you will receive in the mail a ballot for school board trustee. You will also receive on that same ballot a choice of yes or no for voting yes to the school budget or no to the school budget, in addition to the library trustees and the library budget. I can tell you that the budget is within the tax cap. The tax cap is 2.78 and the tax levy is 2.78. The budget to budget change is 3.11. In addition to that, I need everyone to consider that New York State is clearly in financial constraints. We've been told by both the governor's office, our local legislators, and the state education department to expect budget state aid cuts from New York State. We've heard everywhere from 10% of foundation aid all the way up to 50% of total aid. 50% of total aid for us is $20 million. 10% of state aid is $2 million. And so we're bracing for some serious budget cuts. If our budget fails, we go to a zero-based budget, which is a loss of $2.6+ million for us. So if I take the least case scenario that we're expecting, which is 10% of foundation aid, $2 million, and I add that to a zero-based budget, should our budget fail, that's $4.6 million. And if I add to that the $832,000 we've already lost for this school year, we're in excess of $5 million of lost revenue as a result of a failed budget, loss of state aid. So we're hoping that everybody in our community considers all the facts. Obviously, we can't tell you to vote yes or vote no. All we can do is tell you the facts, and those are the facts. We do not believe that we're going to know about state aid, most likely until even possibly after the budget vote. So I think it's most important for the community to know and understand that should the vote go down, that is a loss of more than $2.6 million. And the factor that we were not anticipating is that there are 38,000 registered voters in Baldwin. On a regular basis, about 2,300 people vote, and there are always at least 750 no votes, regardless of what's in the budget. We are now being asked to send the ballots out to 38,000 people with a self-addressed stamped envelope. And so you can read between the lines on that. You know, our citizens across the country are worried, and they are scared, and they are been, you know, basically locked in their homes for the last 8 or 9 weeks. Many have lost their jobs. Many people in Baldwin are first responders and essential workers, and have been hard at work in very difficult situations, both as firemen, firefighters, police workers, and doctors and nurses. And so those are the facts. And I think we've been doing an outstanding job in our school district for at least the last 6 years, honestly, much longer than that. And we do rely on our community during this time of the year. So having said all of that, tonight is our night to celebrate our seniors. We are doing this, obviously, for the first time virtually. We do want you to know that we appreciate you and that we love you, and we are sorry to have to do it this way, but we are going to do the best that we can do. So to start off with, I would like to introduce Dr. Testa, who is going to give a short tidbit about all of our top 10. We are then going to go to Mr. Ramirez, who is looking dapper with his new beard and mustache, although we might take a vote about whether to keep or to get rid of. He knows my feeling on that already. And after Mr. Ramirez, we're going to have a video presentation for every one of the kids that's being celebrated tonight. So Dr. Testa, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Cami, and good evening, everyone. It's a privilege to speak tonight about 10 incredible students that have left a lasting legacy and impact on the Baldwin schools and its community. To our top 10 parents, what wonderful children you have. They are simply amazing. Thank you for raising such outstanding young people. Our number 10 student is Trevor Thompson. For the past 2 years, Trevor is taking 4 advanced placement courses per year. He's in our STEM Engineering Academy. As an avid Shark Week fan, he always has been interested in oceanography and was excited to learn that he can actually major in something that he was passionate about. He's ready to continue that love for oceanography and learning and is more than prepared to do so. His teachers describe him as an inquisitive, curious, and conscientious young man. He always comes to class with a smile on his face and a willingness to work with others. Trevor has the unique ability to motivate his classmates, pushing each other to always do better. And another teacher said, just the nicest young man ever. He'll be attending the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Number 9, we have Aaron Hurtado. Here at Baldwin High School, Aaron has made a point of being active in sports and clubs, especially Key Club, which enables him to do a lot of volunteer work in his community. For example, he prepares utensils and supplies at the local community center, runs a community cleanup in local parks, and he participates in food drives and bake sales. Aaron is also active in his local parish and assists during church collections and fundraisers. His teachers describe him as someone that's strong and resilient, treats every experience in life, good or bad, as a learning experience. They describe him as a bright young man with a mind with a thirst for knowledge. He is mature and driven and always conducts himself in a professional manner. Aaron will be pursuing a career in the STEM field at Binghamton University. Number 8 is Amanda Rutha. Amanda credits her AP US History class for vastly broadening her knowledge and most positively influencing her academic career. After school, she can be seen bowling for our varsity team, helping them to an 8-4 record this year. I got to personally see their last match this past season, which was outstanding. Or performing in NYSSMA competitions, in addition to a wide variety of community service events. Her teachers describe Amanda as a respectful, highly motivated, and determined young lady. She's dedicated, intelligent, and well-rounded student. Amanda is not afraid to tackle a challenge or put forth the hard work necessary for success. Amanda is considering a number of colleges, and we look forward to hearing her selection very soon. Number 7 is April Red. April's performed at the highest level in the most rigorous course program Baldwin offers. While April has always expressed a love of the engineering field, she equally loves the violin and her participation in our upper level chamber orchestra class. Also a member of the bowling team, and I was impressed by her leadership in that last match, even as they faced a difficult opponent. Her teachers describe April as someone that is just the best. She never hesitates to work with others, even in difficult situations. She's a natural leader, but in a thoughtful way. Another teacher wrote, "She is a model student who shows nothing but excellent work ethic, responsible behavior, and high regard for her education throughout the year. She is a mature young lady with ambition and self-motivation. She'll be heading to Penn State." Number 6, Alina Press. Alina continuously she continuously challenged herself throughout high school by taking advantage of many AP, honors, and college credit courses that we offer. She received high honor roll and higher honor roll with distinction each marking period, even with the many extracurricular activities that she's involved with, such as GSA, stage crew, wind symphony. As an incredible art student that will be attending Pratt Institute in the fall, Alina has completed a 5-course drawing and design art sequence. This is not easy to achieve, as very few can accomplish it. Her teachers describe her as someone that has found joy in discussions and was never afraid to express her opinion. Alina quietly acts as a role model to her peers with her ability to question the status quo, and then carefully analyzes others' opinions before passing judgment. Number 5 is Christian Guerrero. Christian is a driven and responsible student with an enthusiasm for learning. He is a talented musician that plays in our wind symphony, pep band, and involved in robotics and tennis. One of Christian's biggest passions and commitments is his faith in his membership to the Greek Orthodox Youth Association. He's a part of the Greek dance group and practices for several months to perform at festivals. He feels that this commitment shaped his work ethic and gave him the tools to accomplish difficult tasks. His teachers describe Christian as having the best study habits ever seen in an AP student. He makes review cards on his own and is constantly asking questions to ensure his understanding of all material. He will be attending Baruch College in the fall. Number 4 is Elena Randolph. Elena is a dedicated member of clubs, community service activities, music, athletics, and just too many others to list in a short amount of time, but do include a state championship and most recently a Nassau County championship and a News 12 Scholar Athlete of the Week. And that got me on TV. I also had the honor of getting to know Elena as a member of the principal's leadership group. Her teachers describe her as mature and a brilliant young woman, a role model for student athletes. She's one of the most positive students I have ever met. Her smile and the joy she brought to her classes was only matched by the intensity and determination she showed as an athlete. Here's a interesting story from one of her teachers. Elena came to class one day with her book in a Ziploc bag. It was waterlogged and must have weighed 5 pounds. Apparently, she had been working on her homework while simultaneously icing her foot because of a basketball injury. While Elena profusely apologized about having ruined the book, I was more disappointed that her beautifully scripted and detailed annotations were blurred. Her perspective was always far more valuable than the tattered book. Elena is looking ahead to the future and plans to study sports management at Syracuse University. Number 3 is Patrick Mulvey. I've also had the privilege of getting to know Patrick as he served on the principal's leadership group. He certainly is a born leader who is willing to step up to lead group activities when no one else is willing. His goal is to study physical therapy and will attend the University of Delaware. He has excelled and achieved mastery in every course, including our most difficult classes. This has earned him a multitude of honors, which range from athletics, music, community service, and even excelled in his part-time jobs. Patrick has particularly excelled in athletics with track and field, but he is also a humanitarian who values the importance of giving back to his community and his school, and he has done that beautifully. Patrick's teachers state that he can make the classroom come alive in ways when he answers questions, and he's always willing to help his peers. Another teacher wrote, he is just awesome, well-rounded, excels everywhere, including music. The vibe in the building was so positive this year, in part because the students like him and his leadership, high intellect, authenticity, hard work, and humanity. Number 2, our salutatorian, Chloe Socking. Chloe's drive towards her superior academic performance is motivated by her goal of working in the medical field. She is a member of our medical academy, Mathletes, Key Club, Chamber Orchestra, and much, much more. She's a talented musician and a talented in the area of marksmanship. She has also dedicated hundreds of hours to serving others, as you will see from the long list of school and community service activities. And looking at that list, it's really incredible. And so much of it is dedicated to serving right here in the Baldwin community. I know that she'll continue her stellar academic and community service pursuits when she attends Stony Brook University in the fall. A teacher said about her that her intelligence is one of the best I've seen, but what is even more impressive is her compassion and humility. She has an understated excellence. She's kind, determined, and a dedicated young woman. Her intelligence, determination, character, and humanity allows me to say unequivocally that our future is in good hands. I am privileged to have been her teacher, and in these times of uncertainty and fear, it is reassuring to know that there are students like her going forward to make their way and leave their mark. I am filled with hope and pride with the promise of what she will achieve in the years to come. Congratulations to the salutatorian of the class of 2020, Chloe Socking. And lastly, our valedictorian, Ava Bandel.
Yay, Ava!
Ava possesses everything you want in a Baldwin student. She was one of the first students I ever met at Baldwin last year when I interviewed for this position. An AP Scholar with Honor, a member of multiple honor societies, including president of National Honor Society, a multi-instrument musician, a star volleyball and lacrosse player. I've witnessed her leadership firsthand. She has tenacity, athleticism, and spirit. And as the member of the principal's leadership group, she has compassion, intelligence, and a wonderful work ethic. She will be attending Harvard University in the fall. Her teachers describe Ava as someone that came to class every day with a relaxed attitude that hid all the pressures and stress that goes along with being the valedictorian. Those who know Ava know she is an exemplary student in every way. Her positive nature and influence on her peers, both in and out of the classroom, helps her lead others by her example. While she's well-rounded, it is her humbleness that stands out. You will never find Ava flaunt her abilities or altruistic deeds. She also does not join something just for effect. When Ava becomes a member of a team, club, or project, she is there for the long haul, lending her talents and ideas for the betterment of the group and the larger overall community. Ava's sensitivity to the needs of others, her self-motivation, her commitment to excellence, provides her with limitless possibilities and potential. She will go far in this world. Congratulations to the class of 2020 valedictorian, Ava Bandel. And congratulations to all of our top 10 students. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Testa. Congratulations to all of you. Obviously, all of your hard work does not go unnoticed. We are very, very proud of you. I know your families are proud of you, and congratulations to the parents as well. Thank you for your hard work and committing to being a part of our public school system and doing great in it. And we can't wait to see what brings you forward in the future. So thank you, everyone. That was great. We can now all yell, yay, congratulations. I feel like we're like
Yay! Congratulations!
Yay!
Ava! Everybody else, yay!
Yeah.
Clearly, Mr. Smith, you are going to be our problem child during this meeting.
Might want to figure out a way to just keep him muted and not get him unmute. That's all right. We have ways.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, we are going to turn it over to you for a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see everyone.
But first,
Just want to
I think
say,
we're gonna take a poll. Beard, no beard.
just want to congratulate all the recipients, the students that are being recognized tonight. They've been and continue to be a sense of pride for our community and make their families proud. For me, it's been a true honor to watch them grow as student athletes over the last 6 years. For most of them, their journey started in 7th grade. For some of them, it started even earlier. They dreamt of being the best, having their hands raised as athletes, winning team and individual championships. They've dreamt of the opportunity to continue playing at the college level. And here we are tonight. They stand not only as some of the best in Baldwin, but as an elite group in Nassau County. They're considered the best among 50 Nassau County schools, some of the best on Long Island, and even best in New York State. There's no secret to their success. Their success is a product of their hard work, their dedication, their commitment, and the ability to balance athletics and academics. I'm proud to see that most of the names that were in the top 10 were student athletes. These young men and women believed in themselves, believed in their coaches, and invested in their potential. They represent our school with character and class and have taken the responsibility of being a Bruin to heart. I could not be any prouder as an athletic director, and as much as I will miss them, I'm very excited to see what they do in their next chapter. To the parents, thank you for trusting us with your sons and your daughters. And I also want to give a special thank you to the coaches who put in all the time to get these athletes and all the other student athletes to this point. So congratulations to all.
I just want to say, Mr. Ramirez, I have a vote of no beard from Mr. Catapano, who's in the audience. All right, let's mute Mr. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez.
All right, Mr. Mignella, I would like to ask you if you would not mind to run the video. Board, I'm going to ask you all to just shut your video down while the presentation goes on. Just wait for everybody to get back on. So I want to thank everybody. I want to just acknowledge two other categories of students. Our students who were AP scholars. Every year during this event, I really do pay a special attention to all of those amazing students as well. Anyone who thinks that getting a 3 or better, 4s or better, or a 5 on an AP test, I welcome to take one of those exams. Those kids have just excelled, and they deserve to really, really be honored, and to offer them the accolades that they deserve for those accomplishments. And I also want to acknowledge our students in art and music. One of the things that I was told when I first came to Baldwin, and one of the things that is become so clear since I've been here in Baldwin, is that our art and music program is just outstanding. It is as good, our art, our music, our athletics, our academic program. If you are really looking for programs that honor the whole child, Baldwin is the place to be. Our art and music programs are just absolutely outstanding. Our athletic program is outstanding. And I just want to say that both our boys and girls basketball teams, they'd have gone all the way to state and they'd have won all the way up to state. I know that for sure. And I want to acknowledge too our top 10. There is something to be said for every single student in our school community. There is a place and a home for every single child, whether they are talented artists or musicians or academics or athletes or anything else that makes up who you are as a young person. And so I just personally, before I turn it back over to Mrs. Dureska, I want to congratulate all of our students, and I want to congratulate all of our families. There are 63 people in our school community that are on this webinar with us today. And there is honestly nothing that makes me prouder than the students that we have as part of our Baldwin community. They are just the nicest, smartest, most talented kids I have ever had the pleasure of being around. So congratulations to all of our students tonight. Congratulations to their families. Big thanks to our teachers and our administrators. It's just absolutely a wonderful celebration. And I'm just going to tell you, Mr. Ramirez, the poll is in. Gotta go.
Not looking good.
Not looking good. All right, Mrs. Dureska, I'm turning it over to you.
Okay. So, ditto to what you just said, Dr. Cami. Congratulations to all of you on your academic and athletic achievements, where we are extremely proud. And as Dr. Cami mentioned, we can't tell you how to vote, but our budget is developed all around the kids. A lot of what we saw in terms of our programs, extracurricular activities, I saw all these different clubs and activities that we provide, and that is really what our budget is all about. So while we cannot tell you how to vote, I think it's important to say that our budget was developed with the main focus on continuing the betterment of what's important for our Baldwin students, and we hope that you are aware of that as you make the decision when you receive your ballots. We expect major cuts, as was mentioned. However, our budget was developed within the tax cap. We stayed within those guidelines, and we're hopeful that our budget will continue to support what we want to give our students. And I'll leave it there. So moving on to the next topic is our reports from our fellow board members. I will start with Ms. O'Hagan. If you have any comments. You're shaking your head no. Okay, you don't. Ms. Reed, do you have anything that you would like to comment on? You're on mute, so I'll give you a moment.
So I just want to say, I publicly say, and Mrs. Dureska, you already articulated this, but I want to give a shout out to all of our staff members. and everyone who's working inside the Baldwin School District in these difficult times. I mean, I was speaking to someone today, and it was a teacher, and she said she's working so hard, but is okay with it. Is okay with working, doing. She would work hard anyway, but it's difficult working in these times, reaching children, trying to do what you need to do in terms of to deliver the stellar education that we have expectations of our staff. So I just want to give a shout out to all of our staff members and everyone who's working so hard on behalf of our students and our community. And there's one other thing, I think it left me, but I think that was really the main thing I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Reed. Ms. Cools?
I would just like to say congratulations to all of the award winners. It's unfortunate that we have to do it this way, that we are experiencing these circumstances, but please know that we're all so proud of you, and also a big thank you to your parents. I mean, so much hard work goes into that kind of dedication, setting such an example, the support, and we appreciate all of it. And again, congratulations.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Just like to say kind of what everybody's saying, you know, congratulations to all the academics and artists and athletes and musicians who were awarded tonight. Seen a lot of you kids grow up over the years, and it's just, you know, warms my heart. What a wonderful group of kids. I also want to point out, or just mention, yesterday I attended a webinar from the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence, something that New York State School Boards Association provided to us board members. And the statistics on stress, you know, you parents have stress who are teaching kids and working, and teacher stress. They said that before the pandemic, 30% of teachers leave the profession after 5 years because it's a very stressful profession. And that really struck me. And I can't imagine how hard it is now. And I guess I just want to also make a pitch to the parents out there to be extra supportive of our teachers and staff at this time. But it seems right now that everybody has been working together wonderfully. So thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Kudos, I agree with that more, because I think it's very hard to show sorry, I think you guys lost me for a second. It's very hard, I think, to motivate students from afar. And when I see that my students are still, my kids, not my students, isn't that crazy? As a parent, I'm now calling them my students. And I don't want to be a teacher, nor do I try to be. But I think I'm amazed by the fact that watching my children, that they're still motivated to learn. And all that credit definitely goes to the teachers, because it's hard. It's hard to be in a household, to wake up and you're looking at a screen every day. And the fact that a lot of our teachers are continuing to work harder to continue to motivate us. I saw the Brookside versus Lennox rap competition, just all the creativity. And I'm not bringing that one up because my son was in it, so go check the Flipgrid if you want to. But that was creative within itself and emotional. But again, proud of all of you for the creativity and continuing to keep our students motivated. On that note, we can move on to the agenda. The Board of Education approves the personal actions report dated May 13th as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Reed.
Seconded.
And by Mr. Smith. Due to the confidentiality of this report, it cannot be discussed in public. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Board of Education approves the recommendations for services of the Committee on Special Education, Sub-CSC 504 Committee, and Committee on Preschool Special Education for services in November 2019, and January, February, March, and April 2020, as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Reed, second by Mrs. O'Hagan. Again, we cannot discuss this item in public. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Board of Education approves the home tutoring and special education service reports as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan,
Seconded.
Second by Mr. Smith. Again, this item cannot be discussed in public. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Motion carries. At this time, as board president, I'm calling for consideration of the business items in tonight's agenda as consent items. This includes business items 1 through 6, as well as Roman numerals 11 through 56, 17, and 19 and 21 through 21. Are there any items members would care to withdraw from consideration under the consent agenda for further discussion and a separate report?
No.
Separate vote, excuse me. No. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent? I'm sorry. Yes, Mrs. Reed. I can't hear you, Mrs. Reed.
So are we, you said to 21?
Yes, as well as Roman numerals 11 through 17 and 19 through 21.
Okay, so okay, never mind. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, including business items 1 through 6?
So moved.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Reed, second by Mr. Smith. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve items 1 through 6, 11 through 17, and 19 through 21?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan,
Second.
second by Mrs. Reed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Mrs. Dreska, can I ask a question?
Yes.
When you went back, when you did the approve the consent agenda, you just said items, business items 1 through 6. Can you
I'm
go back and do the Roman numerals as well?
Yes, 1 through 6. I meant to say that, but I heard the so moved and I got cut off. 11 through 17 and 19 through 21.
And
Do you want me to get a vote on that again, just to be clear?
yes.
Okay, can I get a motion for the consent agenda for items 1? Say that again?
So moved.
Hold on 1 second, Mrs. Smith. Items 1 through 6, 11 through 17, and 19 through 21. Mr. Smith just moved it. And seconded by Mrs. Reed is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
You okay,
Very
Mr.
good.
Reed?
Yep,
Okay.
thank you.
I don't need to do the other part again, correct?
No, you're good.
All right, great. All right. Use of district guidelines. Board of Education accepts the district guidance plan revised for the 2021 school year as detailed in the Friday mailing.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. O'Hagan,
Second.
second by Mrs. Reed. Any questions? Oh, I shouldn't even be doing this. I'm sorry.
Right.
I don't know why I did that. I apologize.
Mrs. Dreska, you just go right down to the appointment of the chairperson.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. Hobbs. Hold on, let me just circle. Guys, just give me 1 second. I don't want to make an error. That one, and then the other two, I don't need to do. Perfect. This is the only one. Okay. The Board of Education appoints, well, before I read it, should I just have a discussion on this, Mrs. Hobbs? Okay. As part of our Friday mailing, it was mentioned that we need a chairperson to handle the school election and budget vote, which entails opening or closing the day out on June 9th of our budget vote, and also on the 10th, where there will be the counting of the ballots. Mr. Smith has expressed interest in doing so. Are there any other board members that also have a strong interest in this, or can we kindly pass it over to Mr. Smith to handle?
Have at it, Mr. Smith.
No debate? No challengers?
Nope.
Challengers. You'll find out why. I'm just kidding. No.
How early?
No.
7 a.m.?
9 a.m. I think we said. Well, no, it's only in the evening on the 9th, which is closer to 5 p.m.
Oh,
So
right.
the budget vote technically closes June 9th at 5 p.m. So we're just going to want someone there to basically close the vote then. June 10th, it'll be either a 8:30 or 9 o'clock start. So we just need someone there.
And then we'll close the day once.
The whole board is going to have to be there to accept the results of the election on the 10th. Most likely we'll have a window of time as we see how quickly the counting goes. Remembering we've never done it this way before, so we have no idea how many people are actually going to return the ballots, and we don't know how long it's going to take to tabulate the results.
Okay. All right. So the Board of Education appoints Mr. Tom Smith as the chairperson for the June 9th, 2020 school election and budget vote.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Reed. Second by Mrs. Dreska. Any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, so now I'm at other, correct, Mary? Mrs. Hobbs? All right, does anyone have any items under other? I have one. We'll try and do it quick before I burn myself. Mr. Mignello, we want to wish you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Unmute, Michelle.
Happy birthday, dear Nancy. Happy birthday to you.
That was just like the Lindbergh Choir last night on TV.
Better. That was better.
Enjoy the cake for you, the banana.
And now Michelle and James, you guys get to do solos since you didn't unmute.
You guys should have done the background. Bebop in the background. Mr. Mignello, you can blow it.
Yay, Mr. Mignello.
Happy birthday. Thank you for spending, almost 2 hours on the phone with us on your birthday.
Thank you.
To your family for taking that time.
No, thank you so much.
It's more like a 22-hour day, believe me.
I can imagine. So that's the least that we can do.
You turned 29 today.
25.
25.
Yeah.
And stick to it. I didn't acknowledge any important dates that I needed to say. We talked about the budget vote on June 9th, but that information will also be in everyone's packet. Is there anything else, Dr. Cami or Mrs. Hobbs, that I need to remind anyone in terms of dates to remember?
No, just, that the seniors will be getting something that outlines all of the dates coming, middle school, elementary schools. All of those parents will receive dates for moving up and as well. So those are all forthcoming.
Okay.
And the budget hearing?
The budget hearing, May 27th.
Right.
Thank you.
And that'll be online. Again, same thing, a link to the budget hearing online.
Okay, great. Thank you. On that note, I'd like to get a motion to close, to end the meeting, to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Seconded.
Was that Mr. Smith or Mrs.
I was
O'Hagan?
going to say, I said it too, so either one of us.
Oh, did we lose Mrs. Dreska?
Okay, yeah, there was the screen froze for a while.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was seeing all kinds of weird faces on the screen. So did you guys hear my motion?
Yes.
I moved.
Moved by, I didn't hear anything. Moved by Mrs. Reed,
Yep.
Second.
by Mrs. O'Hagan. All those in favor?
Aye.
I just want to thank the 23 people that stuck with us during the whole meeting. Yay to them.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for our attendees.
Thank you, citizens.
Oh, all right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week and take care, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks.